Good morning and welcome to Friday's Join the Dots, it's Thursday morning here, okay? Just so you know, I'm not right up to speed with the markets. However, it's nice to see gold at 4164, silver at 53.80, starting to get towards its all-time high again, which was a month or so ago. And that ratio is now 77. So as I say, I've talked about this so many times, it will be down at 30, possibly 20 or 15 at a push, and we're 77. So it's a long way to go in silver, and you know that gold looks pretty strong. So that makes silver look very strong, doesn't it? Anyway, I was going to give you one piece today from Eurodollar University. I was going to break it down comprehensively. But then I thought, I'll look in my phone to see what I've got in the last 36 hours since my last video. And there's too much. There's too much to concentrate just on Eurodollar. So Eurodollar will wait for tomorrow. We'll do that Saturday. What I'm going to do is run through 10 stories today. 10. All essentially dots which we have joined in the past and which we're going to join again and which will join. I don't know whether you know the theory of the pile of sand, where if you start with just one grain and you just keep dropping grains of sand, you eventually end up with a pile. But within that pile, unseen by anyone, are fault lines, cracks which don't actually join, okay? They're independent cracks, until one day you put one extra grain of sand on, and that extra grain of sand changes the whole internal structure of the pile, such that the fault lines join and the pile collapses. Try and think of that as an analogy as where we are in the debt markets, okay? So many signals are coming to you, so many fault lines you can see, but they haven't yet joined, but they will, because the governments will keep putting extra sand on the pile to try to make it bigger, stronger. What they don't understand is they're destroying it internally, and at some point the fault lines meet, the pile collapses. Just a fact. Okay. So let's do a smorgasbord, a selection of major stories since just Tuesday. Okay, in 2 days. In 2 days, these are the stories the dots that I'm picking up. First one, risk goes nuclear. And this is ITM Trading talking about, guess what? Japan's debt. It is incredibly vulnerable. Okay? And given the geopolitical things that are happening, and this is where I join the dots for you, okay, given the anger, and I mean serious anger, out of China. They always have anger. They have anger problems. But they have a serious anger over this Japanese Prime Minister. Okay? And they will try anything. Everything they've done over the last 30, 40 years to infiltrate the Japanese government will now all be in play to try and bring it down and cause chaos. And that could send the bond markets nuclear, as ITM Trading say. I won't link it, but you can look it up, ITM Trading, Japan's debt vulnerable. Right, number 2, Mark Moss. Now, I've never featured Mark Moss, but I've watched an awful lot of his videos. And he's very good. He's very strong, very certain. And, you know, he's on the same line as all of us at the moment. He sees the same things. And he's talking about Bitcoin, okay? It was no accident, he says. It's worth watching. If you're a Bitcoiner, and I don't mind if you're a Bitcoiner, you might mind I like XRP, but I don't mind if you like Bitcoin. It's your choice. It's all our choice in this world. Sometimes people think you don't have a choice unless it matches theirs, especially governments. Yes, you do have a choice. Okay, so Mark Moss, look him up. If you're a Bitcoiner, watch the show. Number 3, and this is the first link I'll give you, Miles Harris. Miles Harris is superb. He really is superb. How he delivers these soliloquies, I think, is totally admirable, brilliant. Okay, never looks at a piece of paper. Maybe he's got a teleprompter, I don't think so. What is he talking about? He's talking about the case for precious metals. So I'm going to link that, because that's the thesis that we're working on, isn't it? That the only thing that we can look at with certainty through this whole period of chaotic crisis after crisis, okay, the fault lines within the pile of sand, okay, the only thing we can be certain of is precious metals will do well. And that's why we're positioned there. That's why I'm positioned there. 95% of my portfolio is in precious metals. Okay. So then we look at number 4. The IMF lists XRP as one of 3 possible solutions to cross-border settlements. Okay. So they say 1 in 3, so fine. A 1 in 3 chance of an explosion in value as a utility. Please stop thinking XRP is a coin. Please, it's embarrassing. Okay? It's embarrassing for anyone who posts it on my comments because they're just ignorant, okay, of what its purpose is and how it will be used. They're just ignorant. And if you can't get over that ignorance, just don't talk about it because it just shows that you're ignorant. All right? So the IMF lists XRP. What else does it say? Post-crash, we will need efficiency, cost efficiency, speed. All of those things will be essential. And what does XRP offer? All of those things. Right. Okay. So now if I can just move Fugly's leg, I can read the next one, which is number 5. No, he's put his legs back there again. Bank of Japan prepares for rate hike. Ties in with all our fault lines in the Japanese economy, doesn't it? And the global economy based on the Japanese carry trade. If that unwinds, the world is a totally different place because it's been using that carry trade for 30 years. And as I explained, I used it between 1992 and 2003. I had a yen mortgage. Fantastic deal. Loved it. It was quite funny actually. When I unwound it, when we sold the property, the lawyer thought that when he saw the rates of the repayment, he just took 2 noughts off because he thought that they'd just got it wrong. And it wasn't. It was Japanese yen, not sterling. It was quite funny. Anyway, Michael Bordenaro is number 6. Oh, there goes Fugly. Right, Michael Bordenaro is number 6. Okay. US housing crash is here. It is happening. All right. Please understand that he's got no axe to grind. He's just telling you what's happening on the ground. Why is he saying that? Well, it's as per the jobs market, isn't it? The truth is being hidden. You're not hearing the truth on the jobs market. You're not hearing the truth on the housing market. Demand now is at an absolute low of 1990 levels. 38.6% more sellers than buyers. So don't worry about the fact you're not getting screaming headlines on CNBC and Bloomberg saying the price is falling. Okay, you don't need them. What you need is excess supply over demand. That brings the price down because you can't sell unless you're prepared to trade. It's ever so simple. It's really economics 101. Supply and demand. Okay? All clouded, all hidden within stats that have no relevance from Redfin and other people who make money out of telling you that house prices will go up. That's the world we live in. Number 7, liquidity. And this is the black swan capitalist guy. I always forget his name, Virjan or something. I can't remember, sorry. Apologies to him. The Turning Point. This is another site that he has called The Turning Point. And it's about Bitcoin. So again, if you're a Bitcoiner or if you're tempted by Bitcoin, just watch these programs. Get the truth. Don't just rely on narrative. Just don't rely on sales speak. Okay, because that's all you're getting in the market. That's all you're getting on CNBC or Bloomberg or whatever. You're getting the sales pitch. Look for the truth. That's what we're doing on this channel, isn't it? On Join the Dots. Find those truths, join the links, and see what the picture looks like and what the outcome is likely, very likely, to look like. Okay, that's number 7. Turning Point. I will link it. He's a very good guy, Virjan, if that's his name, sorry. Okay. And what he sees is the narrative is being overwhelmed. Now, this is true, isn't it? And it's not just Mike Small. I can't overwhelm the narrative from Join the Dots. I wish I could. But what you're seeing out there from all these people, from all these very intelligent people commenting, you're seeing the narrative get overwhelmed. Now, on that point, I would say to all those who have an interest, you don't have to, but if you have an interest in health, okay, go back to that vaccine video I did with Dr. John Campbell. I have added each day, almost, I have added the science as it is coming out, the real science, not the narrative. The narrative's been overwhelmed months ago. Okay, now it's just a question of can they keep lying until everyone loses interest. All right. But the truth is coming out, and I've added maybe 20 links since I did the video. Please, if you're interested at all, look at it, okay? Because there are steps you can take rather than ignoring something that you're totally confused with or you don't want to know. And I understand that, I totally understand that, okay? But you need to know. All right. So again, narrative overwhelmed. It's being overwhelmed in health, it's being overwhelmed in finance, it's being overwhelmed in geopolitics. Look at the narrative on Russia, for instance. How many pieces am I seeing now that Russia is going to come out of this in a very strong position and has been very strong throughout the whole crisis? And what does it show you about the E-useless? I've always had that name for them, the E-useless, and they are. And now they're in such a mess. France has got debt coming out of every single pore of its body. Germany is totally confused under Merz. I mean, at least when you had their previous leader, Merkel, she knew what she was doing. And the country knew where it was going. But under this guy, it's a total disaster, isn't it? It's total. I mean, it's not Germany. It's not Germany. And the stats coming out on their crimes are just unbelievable. Okay, but they're not, they're true. Okay, again, narrative overwhelmed. Everywhere we look, the narrative is overwhelmed. Number 8, China goes bankrupt. Yes, it does. Yes, it is. I've been telling you it ever since I started. I've been telling you that. It's bankrupt. Okay, but not officially. That's the difference. Narrative. Will it be overwhelmed? Yes, because economics overwhelms political narrative in the end, every time, like it did with 2008 GFC. Okay, we saw house prices falling, we saw Northern Rock go bust, we saw Bear Stearns go bust based on derivatives, we saw Lehman go in the end, and then we saw the GFC. But it was there all the time. It was there from June 07 when I said we'd see a and I used those 3 words, global financial crisis. I wish I'd trademarked them in some way, but there you go. China goes bankrupt. Now I'm going to link this because you need to watch this. And especially the Chinese bots who come on my site, they haven't got a clue. Living the dream, I think one of them is called, and I call it, he's just living the lie. He's just living the lie. Okay? And, you know, he seems happy living the lie. China is bankrupt. And no more can you see this than the local government debt, because I said to you when I first started this service that the local government debt was $17 trillion, right? And then they did a swap at the beginning of this year in January. The People's Bank of China, PBOC, swapped 1.2 trillion. Everyone thought it was going to be given to the market. It was going to be a stimulus. Everyone's going to go, hey. No. They did a very discreet swap with the local governments for $1.2 trillion worth. At 7, that's 8.4 trillion won. They did a swap merely to stop the local government vehicles collapsing. Okay, it wasn't reported, wasn't in the narrative, wasn't on Bloomberg, wasn't on CNBC. Probably mentioned in passing, but the consequence is colossal because they had to do it to stop that whole market collapsing. Okay, and I searched on AI before I started this this presentation. AI says debt is 60 trillion RMB, which is yes, it says 60 trillion RMB, which is about $8 to $9 trillion. It's not, it's 17. And the fact that AI can't detect that is because the truth isn't out there. But it is in my world. I see the truth. Maniko 64, nearly there, 2 more. Maniko 64, I will link, okay? And what are you talking about? Guess what? He's joined the dots and he's coming up with Japanese government bond house of cards. And he talks about the time when these bonds were paying 8%. And of course, if it went to 8% now, the unwind would be spectacular. And they probably need something to bridge it. And guess what? Guess what is the only coin that could provide that utility in that sort of number? The XRP. Remember the Jake Claver video. All right, so I'm going to link Maniko 64, Japanese government bond house of cards. Remember, please, I've said it since day one. The stock market is narrative. It's irrelevant, it's speculation, it's opium, it's optimism. It is not the truth. The debt market, massively bigger is the truth. And all we're seeing is stresses in the debt market in every single corner, private equity, private credit, everything. We're seeing stresses in the debt market, okay? And that's the point of the one I was going to give you today from Eurodollar University. Look it up if you want. We'll do it Saturday. We'll give you the weekend to really consider what Jeff exposes on tomorrow's show. And the last one for today, I won't link it, but it's just there. And if you want to look at it, it's on ITM Trading. Guess what? Japanese debt bomb explodes. Those are the headlines. Japanese debt bomb explodes. Over-exaggerating because it hasn't exploded, but it's certainly, the fuse is lit. We just don't know when. And China's going to push it now because of the geopolitics, okay? So tomorrow we come back, we do a whole episode on the Eurodollar University exposure of what is happening in the debt markets. You have to understand it. You have to understand that just like everything else, the narrative will be overwhelmed with truth. We are ahead. Gold is 4,164. Silver is 53.80. Look at the prices of my two stocks. Doesn't matter whether you've got those or others. I don't mind. It doesn't matter. I'm not telling you to buy them. I'm just telling you that's what I've got. Agnico over 170. Pan American over 41. Happy days. Thank you very much.